Most people think trauma looks obvious. They imagine chaos, addiction, dysfunction. But some of the most deeply traumatized people look completely fine. They work. They think clearly. They function. And that's exactly why no one ever notices what's happening inside. Childhood trauma doesn't always destroy lives. Sometimes it builds very competent adults who are silently exhausted. When people hear childhood trauma, they expect something extreme, abuse that left visible scars, events everyone would agree were traumatic. But trauma isn't defined by what happened. Trauma is defined by what your nervous system couldn't process while it was happening. Especially when you were a child, especially when you had no power, no choice, and no emotional safety. Many high-functioning adults don't feel traumatized. They feel tense, always alert, always thinking ahead, always managing something. Their nervous system never learned how to fully stand down. So instead of collapsing, it adapted. It learned to be responsible early, to read the room, to stay useful, to stay in control. These are not flaws. They are survival skills. Childhood trauma in adults often looks like this: overthinking instead of trusting yourself, emotional shutdown instead of rest, people-pleasing instead of boundaries, sudden anxiety with no clear cause. And the most confusing part is this: you can understand your patterns intellectually and still feel unable to change them. This is why advice like "just think differently" rarely works, because these reactions don't start in your thoughts. They start in your nervous system. Your body learned long ago when to stay alert, when to freeze, and when to disconnect. You can't logic your way out of a survival response. Healing doesn't begin with reliving the past. It begins with restoring safety in the present. When your nervous system feels safer, clarity returns, emotions become manageable, decisions stop feeling dangerous, not because you force change, but because your body finally allows it. If you see yourself in this, you're not broken. You adapted. And adaptation can be updated. This channel exists to help you understand what your nervous system learned and how to gently teach it something any. Childhood trauma doesn't disappear by force. It softens when safety becomes consistent. And that's where healing actually begins.